What's up, everybody? We got the penultimate episode of Chad Powers this week. Let's dive into episode 5. The episode opens up with a bit of Chad signing a ball as Russ for a sick kid, and while it continues to tick the clock down on the identity crisis and when that's going to fall apart, which, to be fair, still has a ton of potential in the finale, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they handle that side of things. This ball thing, it just left me baffled at who thought this was a good idea. I mean, we just heard they canned a great Kylo Ren movie idea, and then they're greenlighting this. It might be, the least funny thing they've done so far, if I'm being honest. At least they make up for it with the first ESPN interview. They really found something with those in this week's episode. Honestly, I would have loved it if this was just the opening scene of the episode. I think it would have built some nice momentum, and I'm not saying, it would have made this a perfect episode, a great penultimate episode, but first impressions are huge, right? So start with the goods. Anyways, I thought it was funny that Glenn Powell rounded it off this week and mentioned his second lover in the show. First, it was referencing Sydney Sweeney's show Euphoria, and now he gives a shout out to his boyfriend Tom Cruise's movie, Days of Thunder, and that's a fun movie, by the way. If you liked F1 this year, the Brad Pitt, Damson Idris racing movie, you'd probably enjoy that one too. Getting back to the show though, I get that they were trying to show, not tell, quite a bit this week that Chad is getting increasingly comfortable around Coach Ricky and just in this bizarre situation in general. It's a great idea as we approach the inevitable exposure, but the execution isn't there as the drama side of things has simply been drier than the Arizona air all season. Funny enough, if you ask me, they have their gold mine on their map, but they're going to every other option. If we got more of these coaches meeting scenes, and as I've said before throughout the season, just more scenes with the coaching staff outside of Ricky, who has enough screen time, it would help the show a ton. Those three have been the only consistent thing about the show. They've been great every single time their number's been called. But like I said, it's not being called enough. It's usually just one scene a week as they try forcing Glenn Powell to carry the comedic load in this show. And listen, I get he's the star of the show, and he's honestly, let's be real, he's the only reason the show got made because he wanted to do it. He's not funny. He's simply got a fun vibe to him. He's got that movie star charm, but he doesn't have that Steve Zahn comedic sense. They're two different beasts. Then the show found their weekly bit that's a smash hit for me, and it was at the end as Russ sleeps with the coach's wife, then meets her before the second ESPN interview as Chad. This was masterful with the absurdity of Chad covering over Russ's heart attack at meeting her, and regardless of how I feel about the show overall, they've at least gotten me once every week for what it's worth, and this was a great scene. The episode closed with Steve Zahn getting the spotlight, and oh, was it glorious. I'm so glad he got back in the mix this week, and he did it all to send us into the finale. He makes the drama work at the end with the coach's mess of a family, and then there's the hilarious junctions where he snaps into being 200% a football guy. There's no other way to put it. The man is a national treasure. Overall, that was a decent episode, but, and I've repeated this the past couple of weeks, it wasn't consistent. The show never manages to get on a roll where the beats, whether it be, comedic moments or the dramatic ones, are hitting one after the other. It's just a constant roller coaster. And so that's going to do it for my review of Chad Powers episode 5. I can't lie, Chad causing the death of his coach because Russ banged his wife would be one hell of a finale. We'll see what they've got in store. But I want to know what you guys thought about the penultimate episode, so let me know down in the comments below and make sure you have a great day.